Today we're going over Gotham live-action TV show. Star Wars Rebels just released a bunch of new picks. Brick Mansions is coming out to theaters, and we're lastly going to go over live-action Akira movie coming out, and then of course a recap of what we missed this past weekend due to Katsucon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Totally a Fan, the show where I, a total fan, come to you and I bring you news in TV, movie, video games, comic books, everything revolving the world of fandom, and I bring that information to you. Now, before I start today, I want to give a shout out to one of my to my best friend in the world, Leo. Let me borrow his HD camera here, so hopefully this quality is going to look a hell of a lot better than all my other ones. And then I also want to recap. Katsucon was amazing. The giveaway didn't go out so well as I would like to, so I'm gonna still do a giveaway, and I'll give you details as this comes along. And then at the end of the show, we're gonna do some recap of some big news that we missed, or rather that I missed due to the weekend event. So first, we're gonna start off with the live-action Gotham show. Apparently, it is set to be released sometime in 2014, 2015, possibly late, as production and stuff like that is supposed to start in March. The Gotham TV show is supposed to be very similar to Gotham Year One, where if you guys have seen the video, it kind of shows the growth and the evolution of Jim Gordon into the commissioner, or rather, his detective days before he gets the promotion. And we also see an evolution of Batman. Now, the TV show is supposedly supposed to focus on Jim Gordon, who will be played by actor Ben McKenzie, and I'll have a picture of him posted up somewhere here. And so it's going to focus on his main thing, and it's also supposed to show the beginnings of supposedly the three names I mentioned was Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman. So that's definitely going to be really interesting to see. Again, the production is supposed to start in March, so I'm going to assume maybe late fall, possibly winter is supposed to start. And in addition, supposedly they wanted to skip the pilot, or rather the pilot phase, I guess, was going to be skipped, or I don't know if they bought it after watching the pilot, but from what I read, it looked like they decided to skip it. And I was trying to confirm it, and it looks like that's what the case was, but in case I'm wrong, definitely I want you guys to let me know what I missed and just fill me up with those details. Next, Star Wars Rebels. I'm going to post up a couple pictures up here as well. Supposedly we got a view of a couple characters, the cowboy, Jedi Cannon, I believe his name is, and Ezra Bridger, and of course the droid, I believe he's an R2 unit or something similar. His name is Chopper. Now, a trailer's recently been released, and supposedly it's going to air in the fall on Disney XD. I have some concerns for this because one of my favorite shows that has aired on Disney XD was the Tron show, but I believe because it aired on Tron, not everybody has cable or an advanced pack to be able to view those channels. And I'm kind of feeling that maybe that's what happened to Tron and why Tron didn't succeed after the first season. But it is Star Wars, so it's definitely possible it could go more than just the first season. Now, I mentioned it briefly on the show before, but just in case you guys didn't know, basically it's supposed to tie in the worlds between Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, with Episode 4, A New Hope, and it's supposedly going to be in the same style as the Clone Wars, and it's supposedly going to be picking off from the Clone Wars. So that's going to be something interesting for those Clone War fans, but it's also supposed to bridge the gap between the two episodes, and also have a lot of fandom canon, or rather just a lot of canon that a lot of the fans will recognize. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see how this progresses, and I'm definitely looking forward to it because Star Wars is one of my childhood memories. It's definitely a big part that played in my childhood, so that's going to be interesting. Next, this movie, Brick Mansions. If you haven't seen it already, because most of you, especially for those who are in the world of parkour, martial arts, tricking, maybe even b-boying, Brick Mansions is loosely based. It's actually based off what I've read of the synopsis, the premise, even some of the actors. This is the American version of the French movie District B13, which for those of you who don't know is basically a big parkour movie. Now the original French version came out I think in 2009. I want to say it came out a couple years ago, and it even sparked a sequel, District B13 Ultimatum. So that's, this movie, I'm really into martial arts. I'm a big nerd about martial arts, so I'm definitely looking forward to this movie. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it does include the late Paul Walker, who it's rather unfortunate that we lost the actor so early, but his death kind of brought a lot of fans together into seeing what's going to happen with the Fast and Furious franchise. But the reason why I bring this movie up is because supposedly it was his last completed movie. Post-production, all that stuff was done prior to his death. Whereas in the event of Fast and Furious 7, he was maybe about halfway, if that. So I didn't want to bring it up to say, oh, Paul Walker died. No, I wanted to honor Paul Walker by sharing and spreading the love that he had for this movie, because we all know that he put his blood, sweat, and tears in all the movies he's made. Now, what's great about this movie is, again, it's a really great parkour feature movie, and the actor, or rather the character Damien, who Paul Walker plays, actually replaces the parkour artist Cyril Raffaelli. And I'm sorry if I messed up your name, but Paul is basically gonna replace Cyril in this movie. And Paul Walker, we know him as the dude surfer type, especially the dude and racer type in the Fast and Furious movies. So to see him do parkour is definitely gonna add an element, because based off the trailer, he looks like he's kind of new to the world. Whereas in the French version, Cyril is a total pro. What's great is that David Bell, who's very widely known, he's had tons of YouTube views. He was in the 5 Gum commercial where he's doing all these flips and stuff off these like towers that are just coming up and down. So he's seen in that. If you don't know who that was, it's David Bell. So David Bell's going to reprise his role as Leto, or I think they're going to call him Lino, but basically it's the same guy. And what it's going to be is it's going to follow the story of an undercover cop who's trying to take down this crime lord by getting into his gang to stop a neutron bomb. And based off what I was reading, it's basically District 13, just Americanized. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. If you haven't already seen the French version, the American version, I'm totally sure it's going to have major differences, but very, very similar. So definitely, if you guys, those of you who are fans of Paul Walker, please, share this movie. Go check it out. It's coming to theaters April 25th. Last bit of major news. In honor of Katsucon, I wanted to bring this information to you guys earlier for Thursday's episode, but due to, if you guys read my tweets, there were some complications with trying to load the video, so this is the major news I was supposed to hit back then. But the live-action Akira movie is directed by Jaume Collet Serra, and I apologize for messing up your name. He's directed the recent movie that came out, Nonstop, and a movie came out a while back called Unknown that starred Liam Neeson, so he's in both of those movies. And he also did the movie with Paris Hilton, House of Wax. So he directed those movies. He's apparently the one who's going to be helming this project. However, based off reports I've read from different websites, I believe Screen Rant may have had something about it, and a couple other websites, he apparently doesn't really believe in this product. And based off all the reports I've read, it seems like he doesn't like the characters, and apparently doesn't think that there's strong characters in Japanese culture. And so he apparently was having a really tough time. And maybe that's why it was on again, off again for several years. But because he doesn't really believe in the product, he doesn't really like the main character, or rather any character for that matter in that world. And it was also reported that apparently he wanted to whitewash the whole movie, have like distinctive non-Japanese, non-Asian looking actors, and just completely change it. And it was also reported Mr. George Takei from Star Trek, he said that not only would this be in I have it written down, he said pointing out that not only is this an ill-conceived idea, but potentially offensive, which I believe, especially if he doesn't believe in the own product and wants to completely change it. Something similar like this, I believe, happened with The Last Airbender. Now, for those of you who know, again, I'm very big into martial arts, and The Last Airbender is one of my favorite shows, and Shyamalama destroyed the movie, and I don't believe it was because of his whitewashing or even the race bending of the characters, but definitely I feel that he maybe not ruined it due to it, but definitely changed a major core element because of it. And that was something that, while it didn't really bother me that much compared to all the other hardcore fanboys that only want source material, that was something that I was kind of okay with him doing. I was a little more accepting. Now, in this movie, Akira, I definitely think it's completely, it's wrong, because Akira is based in the Japanese world and culture, and for him to just completely whitewash it would just make the movie based off Akira, not necessarily Akira. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a story about oranges, or it's a story based off oranges, but it's about an apple, basically, if that makes any more sense. So that's something I'm kind of not really interested in. But my biggest issue with the whole movie is that he doesn't really believe the product or the characters, and that's, how are you going to direct that project? It sounds like he doesn't want to do it. It kind of sounds like he has to do it against his will almost. So, I really can't dig it, and I honestly, for those of you who are planning on watching this movie, I want you to watch it with caution. It may not be the great movie that you guys are expecting, so be careful. I definitely don't want you guys to get hurt as a movie audience, especially as fanboys. Something definitely I would recommend being careful with. In addition, Warner Brothers supposedly took this project back in, I think, 2008. Apparently paid 7 figures. So that's about $1 million, somewhere in the millions. So that's, that was interesting that they decided to take it, and then this guy who doesn't really want to do it, I kind of see possibly a waste in money. But it's something we're going to have to wait and see. Alright guys, so that's it for the major part of the show. Of course, I didn't get any questions. I've been busy with Katsucon this weekend. But I did want to go over just some quick news bits that kind of came over that weekend, as well as that Friday and Thursday that I missed. So I have a bunch of stuff posted up here on my sticky notes. For those of you who don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy trailer is going to premiere tomorrow on Jimmy Kimmel Live at 11:35 Eastern Time. USA Today posted this. They have it on their site. But if you guys watch Jimmy Kimmel, or if you guys don't watch it but want to see the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, Jimmy Kimmel Live, I believe it's tomorrow, 11:35. If you guys want to watch today at 11:35, just be sure. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be tomorrow. Next, Screen Rant posted an article that Transformers Rise of a Dark Spark is going to somehow merge the cinematic universe with the Cybertron games. For those of you who don't know, War on Cybertron. There was another movie too, or another game as well, that basically focuses on how the Transformers came to be on Cybertron. How the war started, what Megatron was up to, how Optimus becomes a Prime. It doesn't really base it off the cartoon so much, because the cartoon actually does go over it. It kind of loosely bases it, but I thought the games were awesome. And so what this, I believe it's a new game. What it's going to do is it's going to merge both of them together. So I'd recommend checking that out. Again, the news is on ScreenRant.com, so check that out. And lastly, a bunch of pictures were released about Toy Fair. If you guys have seen the show, you guys know I love the Ninja Turtles almost more than life itself. I posted a bunch of stuff at the beginning part of the show about what I felt about the Ninja Turtles, about the new movie, and supposedly it was released at Toy Fair. A bunch of the Lego sets based off the movie, that a Karai character is going to be in the movie. A report or an article I read is that while the sets may not necessarily be reflected on what's going to be in the movie, definitely the character pieces are that's going to be accurate to what they will look like in the movie, comic book, or whatever universe that the Legos are basing themselves off of. In addition, we also got new toys and stuff like that going on, and I got a picture of that going to be right up here. And then Guardians of the Galaxy supposedly are released in Lego sets. I think a couple pictures are spreading around out there. Check that out. Back to the Future is going to get a Lego set. Based off the picture the only picture I saw was the DeLorean with Doc Brown and Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox character. And it looks like the hoverboard is going to be there too. So I'm wondering if it's going to be based off Back to the Future 2 and not the first one. So that's going to be interesting. And then, of course, the Ghostbusters, which were released, actually, I think about a week or two ago, right around the time that the Everything is Awesome Lego movie was released. I think we started watching. I started seeing pictures of the Ghostbusters. So then that might not be new news, but that's what it is. All right, guys. So that's the show for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything. As always, please let me know in the comments. Email me. Follow me on Twitter. Post anything if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. If you guys have any topics you want to talk about, all that contact information is going to be downstairs. In addition, the giveaway, I still want to do the giveaway. I bought the gift, so I have the gifts right here. I'm looking right at it, but who's going to get it? I'm going to give you the details probably in tomorrow's episode, and I'm going to hook up with some people to kind of help promote this and spread it out. So we're definitely going to look into that. So as always, I shall see you guys until the next one.